back to another episode of World War Marvel. I am Adam, your channel host, and we are here for another unboxing. So today we are going to be taking a look at CK08 Mutant Masterworks Organized Play Kit. So a big shout out to Torchlight Games and Hobbies for getting a copy of this for me in, because I want to run this as an event in my local area later on. I just think it would be a fun, thematic ultimate encounter that you can play with your friends or a group of people. So I'm hoping to get a group of people in to be able to play this at a later date. So I thought what I'd do today, being Saturday, would be to do an unboxing and allow you guys to see the contents of what's inside, and then we can discuss the actual the scenario and look at it and everything else. So let's jump into this box and see what's inside the Mutant Masterworks Organized Play Kit. Here we are with CK08 Mutant Masterworks Organized Play Kit. You see the Ultimate Encounter, or the Cosmic Threat, right on the front of the box, and that is Magneto. Let's take a look at the back of the box. Shows you the contents. They have one rulebook, 8 stat cards, 8 token sheets, 8 data cards, and 24 tip cards. You can see what the cards are looking like on the side. So this kit contains materials for running Marvel Crisis Protocol Mutant Masterworks Ultimate Encounter. Inside this box, you will find the encounter materials and rules for how to run the event. So it's super cool. I've already opened this up because I've been reading the rules briefly. So let's take a look at the token sheets first. Actually, let's look at the rules first. How about that? So there's your little rule book there. So the first few pages are basically how to play an ultimate encounter. So I've done 2 so far on the channel. I've done the Thanos one with Jamie and Keith, and then I did the solo All Will Be Metal Ultron one with my son Jackson. And so that is what it's looking like, or that, if you want to see what it looks like, you can go back and check it out. So alright, sorry about that. My son decided to come in and say that he wanted McDonald's for lunch. Meanwhile, it's like 7:30 in the morning. Actually, it's 8 o'clock now, but yeah, McDonald's for lunch. Man, what a kid. But yeah, so it goes over how to run a ultimate encounter with a breakdown of the different phases and how they have been changed. Once you start getting into the actual story element of this, you have to choose like your difficulty, which will determine how many tactics cards everybody gets. Let me see if I can find that section where it has the actual chart. Here we go. So encounter characters. So let's just look at this. Ultimate Encounter, Mutant Masterworks. Magneto, the Master of Magnetism, has chosen a new moniker, the Mutant Masterworks. Unwilling to sit idly by mutants, as mutants suffer persecution at the hands of the world's anti-mutant governments, Magneto is determined he must do whatever is necessary to ensure the survival and supremacy of his people. Believing the only language the leaders of the world understand is force, Magneto has set out from his base on Asteroid M to capture a nuclear warhead from a secure ballistic missile facility. The facility's commander, realizing they are no match for the Omega-level mutant, has sent out a call for help. But can the combined might of the Crisis team stop Magneto from researching his teleporter and claiming his prize? Or will the Mutant Masterworks prove too much for even them to overcome? So basically, military base being overran by Magneto, who's trying to steal a nuclear warhead. Nothing good is going to come from that. Nothing whatsoever. So it goes into squad composition here, which 17, each player gets a 17 threat squad, and then you choose your difficulty. And so basically what difficulty is, the more narrative or thematic a team is, that's generally, where does it mention it here? Let's see, actually it's over here. But like in one of the difficulty settings, it was talking about like the more narrative of the team or thematic the team, then the less difficult it should be, because as you start sort of like looking at this and going, oh, well, I can put this character in my squad and this character to sort of min-max the how to play the scenario, then it should be a little bit more difficult. Yeah, but yeah, there's somewhere in here, selecting a difficulty. When playing an ultimate encounter, keep in mind that these are narrative scenarios meant to tell a story and create atmosphere. While you can create a highly optimized and effective squad designed around each encounter, the difficulty level you choose should be adjusted to compensate that. So going back to this, now you have your different difficulties. You have your narrative, which gives you 0 tactical cards, team tactics cards, and then starting debris at 5. You have normal, which is 3 team tactics cards, and then starting debris is 8, which we'll get into that momentarily. And then hard is 2 team tactics cards and 10 for the debris or rubble pile, and then homo superior team tactics cards 1, and then 12. So you set up when creating the battlefield of this counter, make sure to include thematic elements showing a destroyed military base. This battlefield should be extremely dense with terrain. We suggest at least 20 pieces of terrain, with 2 or more being a size 4. Set up the objective tokens on the battlefield, then place the debris piles covering the magnetic field dampeners. And then it talks about how the crisis team has priority and will continue to have it throughout the match. And then you have your deployment, and it tells you to refer to the map over here. So basically you have your 2 teams, 1 on each side. Right, so you got your blue team and red team, I guess, or purple and red team, and then you have your Asteroid M teleporter over here, which Magneto wants to get the warhead from there to over here, and then you have your magnetic field dampeners that will have debris piles over them, which will affect how that jumps across. Then you have your rally points for the military base members that will start appearing as well. And so the whole point is to stop Magneto from getting that nuclear warhead that is armed back here, and the team has to get the codes from the military base members that are going to be around these rally points, deactivate the shield around the warhead by exhausting Magneto, and then disarming it after they get the codes. Magneto, though, on the same time can flip the military guys here and gain power and such, and then as well as if you take the debris off of here, which will restrict the movement of the warhead, he can like throw it on there. So lots of cool stuff, which we'll look at momentarily. And then for succeeding for the victory points, you don't score any during this encounter, and ending the encounter, disaster averted. If at any time both shutdown codes are on the nuclear missile, it has been successfully disarmed, and the crisis team wins the game. The crisis team must gather the shutdown codes from around the battlefield and use them to shut down the nuclear missile after removing its shielding. Escape successful. If at any time the nuclear missile is overlapping the teleporter, the cosmic threat immediately wins the game. The nuclear missile moves at the end of each round as Magneto moves it towards the teleporter. Special rules you'll find on the cards, which we will take a look at. So Magneto's deployment is within 1 of the nuclear missile. So I definitely am going to set up a board when I play this, because I will play it and do this on the channel. I'm definitely wanting to play this hopefully sooner than later, because this just looks like super fun to have Magneto, which me being a big fan of the X-Men and everything else like that, and being raised on the comics and in the old cartoon from the 90s, like Magneto is just a boss. So I definitely want to play this with a couple of guys for fun. But yeah, I'm hoping sooner than later. But I got the terrain, a bunch of ruined like building pieces and stuff that would make an adequate military base, and then as well as other pieces, like I have like a cannon on a turret type thing that could be like a military defensive system and all this stuff. So like I just got some cool things that could work as a military base. So yeah, I'm going to definitely be looking at that. So let's look at the tokens up close and personal. I have opened the package up, so you can see here you have the nuclear warhead with the shielding, and then on the flip side, it's without the shielding, so after you exhaust Magneto, it flips over. That is the Asteroid M teleporter. These are the magnetic field redactors. What are they? Dampeners, magnetic field dampeners, I think. Yeah, the magnetic field dampeners. You then have, it looks like, activated tokens for Magneto there, as well as the military base. Actually, that's gonna... One sec. So that was child number 1, my oldest Jackson, coming in, and again, asking for McDonald's. They must have food on the brain or something. I don't understand why. It has to be because the one's asking, now the other one wants to ask too. Meanwhile, I'm out in my back garage filming this, and my wife's in the house, and they come out here asking me, you know, can I have McDonald's? Anyhow, it's just a situation. Just funny, I find. Very funny. 8 o'clock in the morning. Sheesh. So anyhow, this tracker here, that token I should say, is going to be the token that you use to track the debris stuff. And number 3, that's a trifecta right there. All for McDonald's kids, I tell you. Tracking the debris. So what happens is every time like you destroy terrain and stuff like that, you add debris, or a number of steps onto the debris tracker, and it affects the board with various status conditions, which we'll explain. These guys here are the military members. What is the soldiers? They are civilians, and on the back you have different conditions. So you have the launch codes here, you have top secret information here, and then blanks. So they all do different things, which we'll talk about here momentarily. But yeah, so those are the tokens that come with it. There's 8 of those, and then you get your Ultimate Encounter Mutant Masterwork Debris Tracker. So it tracks, like I said, the debris, and there's different levels of debris. And so it will tell you basically with the book where the debris starts. So in normal, you're starting at 8, which is level 1. And then at hard, you're starting at 10, and then 12 for Homo Superior, and then narrative is starting at 5. And so that will have different effects. When you flip the page over, it should be somewhere around here. I know it's on one of these charts. I'll show you later. We'll discuss it later. But then you have the activated check, so you put your activated marks there. Exhaustion for every time that you daze Magneto, he'll gain an exhaustion marker, so you need to put 3 exhaustion markers on him before the shielding off the nuclear warhead comes out. And then you have your soldiers, and then which are the face down. So basically you pile them face down so nobody knows what's what, and then when the discarded ones, after you search them, you discard them over there. And then if they'll just continue to appear based off the actions of the scenario. Then you have your debris piles, damage for 1 and 2, because there's 2 of them. They have 8 stamina each and 3 across the board for defenses. So let's look at the Mutant Masterworks basic card. So tokens and objectives. Nuclear missile, target of opportunity, active atomic warhead the Magneto intends to steal. Characters cannot end a movement overlapping the nuclear missile token. The token has 2 sides, shielded and non-shielded. It begins the game shielded. Once Magneto Mutant Works has 3, begins the game with its shielded side up and flips to its non-shielded side once Magneto Mutant Masterworks has 3 or more exhaustion tokens. At the end of each round, Magneto Mutant Masterwork moves the nuclear warhead missile, place the missile within range 3 of its current location. So then you have the teleporter. So that thing there, teleporter, Magneto has brought a teleporter with him that will transport the nuclear missile back to Asteroid M for safekeeping. He just has to get the missile to it. Characters cannot overlap the teleporter. Basically prevents you from blocking the missile from getting on top of it. So that way it can overlap it at one point or another. Because if you had like three different characters or 4 different characters sitting across it, you couldn't get Magneto to get the warhead there. So it kind of makes sense there. Debris piles. Magneto's has piled debris on top of the magnetic field dampeners, overloading their capabilities. The Crisis team must clear the debris piles to reactivate the magnetic field dampeners. Debris piles are non-interactive size to terrain that can be attacked and damaged as if they were characters. When they suffer damage, place the damage on the dashboard. So again, here, right, like I was saying, debris piles are treated as allied characters for the cosmic threat. Debris piles do not suffer from special rules of attacks, and they make dodge rolls normally. Debris piles are immune to all special conditions. As debris piles suffer damage, shrapnel flies from them, controlled by Magneto. This is quite dangerous. Crisis Team tip cards explain the effects of shrapnel. Basically what it is, as the shrapnel goes flying, characters within 2 may get damaged, so you roll a number of dice equal to the damage dealt to the debris piles, and then if any of those dice come up, I think crits or wilds, enemy characters within 2 of it, I believe, then suffer a point of damage as well. You have the magnetic field dampeners, targets opportunity. Military tech at its finest. These magnetic field dampeners can shut down Magneto Mutant Masterworks powers. Clearing the debris piled on top of the devices will return them to their functioning status. On the backside, Crisis Team must reactivate these devices by clearing the debris off of them, thereby slowing the nuclear missile's advances to the teleporter. The nuclear missile token cannot be placed if it is within range 3 of a cleared magnetic debris field dampener. So basically, if you clear dampener, the debris off a dampener while the missile is within 3 of it, it's stuck in its tracks up until the point where Magneto can get more debris onto that debris pile or dampener and then allow it to move again. The nuclear missile token cannot be placed within range 3 of a cleared magnetic field dampener. So if it's within and you clear it, it can't move, but it can also move within 3, so it would have to go wide around said dampeners. The rally points, targets of opportunity, the fractured and the overwhelmed soldiers manning the base have started to congregate around these rally points. At the end of each of the cosmic players' turns, place 1 random soldier token face down within range 2 of one of the rally points and not within range 2 of another soldier token. If a token would be placed but none remain, shuffle all discarded soldier tokens and choose 1 at random to be placed. If there are no available discarded soldier tokens, a soldier is not placed. So yeah, so basically it cycles through. So because Magneto has ways to get rid of the codes for the tokens, so like basically allows you to just cycle through until you find what you need and hopefully get it to the unshielded warhead to take it out. Let me see. Yeah, so soldiers, the military occupants of the base have been scattered and broken. The remaining soldiers hold the codes to shutting down the missiles and are represented by double-sided tokens. 2 have the shutdown codes, 2 have secret information for Magneto, and 2 are blank. Interacting with a soldier token will flip them over and reveal what information they have. The Crisis Team must find the shutdown codes and use them on a non-shielded missile to deactivate the missile, prevent Magneto's plans from succeeding. Magneto Mutant Masterworks can interrogate these soldiers, sometimes finding out secret information and gaining power. That's all you want is Magneto to gain power, right? Especially in this form, which we're going to look at very soon because he is beastly. Shutdown codes, asset. These are the 2-sided codes needed to safely deactivate the nuclear warhead inside the missiles. Crisis Team must collect both codes from soldiers around the rally point. So those are the codes, top secret information, and then the blanks, like I said. Exhaustion. Magneto fights the Crisis Team. He will become exhausted. The Crisis Team must whittle down his powers until he can no longer sustain the shielding around the nuclear missile. Once there are 3 exhaustion tokens on the dashboard, the shielding on the nuclear missile will fall. So that's the overview card. That's not specific to the team or the crisis threat, or cosmic threat, sorry. So debris storm, here we go. So this is a chart that tells you what happens when you're at the various levels and stages in the debris storm up here. So right. Magneto Mutant Masterworks has created a whirlwind of debris and wreckage to cover his escape. As more destruction and mayhem occurs, The whirlwind grows in strength each time a terrain feature is destroyed. Move the debris tracker on the dashboard up a number of spots equal to the size of the terrain. If this would cause the debris tracker to move to the new row, the storm level is increased, or has increased. If the debris tracker would be moved back a row, the storm level has decreased. If an effect would cause you to lower the debris tracker, but you cannot lower the debris tracker to 0. But you cannot lower the debris tracker to 0. So basically, it ends at 0, and the effect does not, occur. Okay. As the storm level grows, follow the effects. The follow effects are applied to the game. Following effects are applied to the game, include the current storm level and all lower levels. So at storm level 0, there's no effects. At level 1, reduce visibility when a crisis team character targets a character or a debris pile with an attack. When they're not within range 2 of the target, it has cover. Level 2, communication disruption. When a crisis team character plays a team tactic card, they must pay 1 additional power. 3, unforeseen impact. At the end of each of the Cosmic Threat player's turns, the Cosmic Threat chooses a crisis team character. The chosen character gains 1 of the following conditions: bleed, slow, or stun. Ew. And then swirling shrapnel. At the end of each of the Cosmic Threat player's turns, each crisis team suffers 1 damage and gains 1 power. So that is very cool. Very cool. So crisis team special rules: clearing debris. Debris piles can be attacked and damaged. They suffer collisions, effects, and special rules as if they were characters, but cannot have power, special conditions, or be moved or placed. Their defensive stats and stamina can be found on the dashboard, which are right there. So 8, 3, 3, 3. 8 stamina and 3s across the board. If a debris pile is damaged, roll dice equal to the number of damage it suffered. The crisis team characters within range 2 of the debris pile suffer 1 damage for each critical or wild roll. Crisis team characters gain power equal to the damage suffered in this way. Once a debris pile has damage equal to its stamina, they are destroyed and removed from the table, and the magnetic field dampeners underneath them are uncovered. Interact soldier. Flip over the soldier token. If it is a shutdown code, the character picks it up. Otherwise, discard the soldier token. Interact with shutdown codes. You pick them up. And then interact with the nuclear missile. If you have a shutdown code, place it on the nuclear missile. Ending the encounter. We've already discussed that, so we won't go over it. And then you have your legend of your various tokens there. And then lastly, but not least for these cards, is the Cosmic Threat, which again has the debris storm on the front and then on the back. Cosmic Threat special rules: interact with a magnetic field dampener. If there's no debris pile covering this device, lower the debris tracker by 4. If you do, place a debris pile with no damage tokens on it covering this magnetic field dampener. And the debris piles are just the metal construct piles that came with Magneto. So that's what you're using as those debris piles as well. I forgot to mention that earlier, but yeah, that's all you're using is just those 2 debris piles that came with Magneto. Interact with a soldier. Reveal the soldier token. If it's if it is a secret info token, the character gains 2 power. Then discard the soldier token. If you get the shutdown codes, you discard them. Or if Magneto interacts with a shutdown code, discard them, placing it face down in the pile. Flying shrapnel. When a debris pile is damaged, roll dice equal to that. We've already discussed this as well. Yeah. Once debris pile is damaged equals its damage destroyed. Yeah. So ending the encounter, again, we've already looked at that. So that's the gist of the scenario. But let's look at Magneto himself, the Cosmic Threat for this. He is quite beastly. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So he has 10 stamina, movement of medium in this, not short, size 2, and he is obviously an ultimate encounter. You cannot play him regularly. He has 3 physical defense, 4 energy, and 5 mystical defense. And then he has encounter character, flight, immunity to stagger and stun. He has reverse polarity as his first attack. It is physical with range 3, 6 strength, and 0 power. At the end of this attack, the character gains power equal to the damage dealt. If you're within 2, may reroll any number of its attack dice. If not, after the attacker's withdrawal, push the character short. So just like reverse polarity on his card. You have Shockwave, which is a mystical beam, 4 attack, 6 strength, and then cost 2 power. So on a wild, you have Magnetic Lethargy. After each attack is resolved, this character pushes the target character away short. The push character gains the slow condition. Ew. Oh man, he's going to be making people move short, left, right, and center with all of this. And the potential debris storm and everything else. Ew, that's so nasty. Magnetic Devastation and physical attack. Range 4, strength of 9, so 9 dice, costs 3 power to do. When making the dice pool for this attack, you may reduce the debris tracker by up to 3 to add that many dice to the attack roll. Ouch. Hits like a truck, which rightfully so, being, Magneto. First superpower is a Fatal Attraction. This character spends 1 to 4 power when paying the cost of the superpower. Choose an interactive terrain feature within 3 and with a size equal to or less than the power spent to use the superpower and throw it long. Superpower can only be used once per turn. Ultimate Dominion advances character long. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So not only does he have medium movement, he now moves long with a medium base. That's nasty. He's going to get to wherever he needs to be. Oh my goodness. Debris Shield. When this character or debris pile within range 3 of this character is targeted by an enemy attack, this character may use a superpower. You may reduce the debris track by up to 3 to add that many dice to your defense rolls. So where before he would have to spend power to use the magnetism, like I can't remember the other superpower on his actual card that you can use was called, but he would increase it by using his mystical defense for dodges and stuff. Now it's just increasing it by up to 3 for using Debris Shield and taking debris from the debris storm and throwing it in the way of the attacks that his enemies throw at him. So, and then Omega level threat. At the start of the Cosmic Threat player's turn, if this character has a Daze token, he removes all damage, special conditions, and the Daze token from himself and adds an exhaustion token to his dashboard. If there are 3 or more exhaustion tokens on the dashboard, flip the nuclear missile over to its non-shielded side. Then reduce the debris tracker by the number of exhaustion tokens on the dashboard. Ooh, nasty, nasty, nasty. So basically the debris pile will fade every time you daze him, by the looks of it. So, which is good, because you don't want that going up super high because it's just going to wreck everybody's day. Then True Potential, this character may reroll any number of his attack dice equal to the storm level. Oh, built in. So he could have, with reverse polarity, if he's within range 2, he could have lots of rerolls. That's interesting. At the start of each of this character's activation, he gains 1 power equal to the storm level as well. Oh my gosh. So yeah, definitely beastly. Magneto looks like he's going to be fun to go up against, to say the least. And I definitely have in my head a board idea for a military base. So I'm looking forward to that and trying it out, I should say. But yeah, oh my gosh, that is absolutely insane. Really, really cool. He's super, super strong. I want to see the X-Men going up against him, or X-Force, something thematic that would make sense. Maybe the Avengers have been called in by Fury to stop Magneto, and the X-Men obviously are being directed by Xavier to also go. So maybe a cross between, the Avengers and X-Men. Or you could do Defenders, or really anything, but obviously X-Men being the most thematic. I think that would be super cool to go up against this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. Looking forward to running this at an event. So what I'm thinking is, obviously I'm going to keep a copy of this for myself, but I have 7 other copies of it. Only 1 rule book though, but I'm going to do this at an event and probably end up giving away the other 7 copies at the event when I get in there, or get the ability to do it, because we can't hold events right now. But that is the thoughts, is that I will be giving away those at the event when I run it, and keep 1 for myself as well. So if I want to play it with friends or family later on, that's what I'll be able to do. Anyhow, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Taking a look at the Mutant Masterworks Organized Play Kit. It looks super thematic, super fun, and I can't wait. If you haven't yet, go to the description of the video down below. Check out Torchlight Games and Hobbies and the link to their website there. You can save 5% off any of your hobby supply needs, such as paints and such, by using Fire 5. While you're down there, you can also check out the Patreon link, and we appreciate all the support that you guys offer or have given both our past and present Patreon members. So a big shout out and thank you to all those guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, ignite your hobby.